for what that DVD is, I think it, with all its flaws, it's still got that whole DVD series, for all its flaws, I think it's still got a lot of people.
Oh, it gatewayed a ton of dudes.
Here's the gateway drug for a ton of people.
I mean, I had it in New York. I mean, it was like I bought a tricked out Magpul 870, and the dynamic shotgun was in there, and I was like, all right, what's this? Threw it in, and I was like, yep, I'm going to buy dummy rounds, and I plan on doing all of this stuff. And that was, I mean, I had one of those DVDs.
When you say that, I just think of like being in New York, and those DVDs are like prohibited. Like,
yeah,
you gotta hide that somewhere, like hide that behind the wall.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Got that dynamic shotgun DVD?
You got a guy with like a trench coat. He's got like all the Magpul DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think those videos don't get the credit that they deserve. And I'm sure we all have that similar story. Like, you saw that, you bought that DVD or whatever, and you're like, oh man, like, yeah, I need to do this. I need to go take a class, right? So those videos were definitely a gateway, right?
Yeah.
So that exploded training, I think, to what it is now.
I think I just got rid of that DVD too.
How could you get rid of it?
I think when we moved, it got like we went through like all of our DVDs, and I was like, I don't know.
Here's the thing, like, if my house is burning down, right?
Save the
like
dynamic.
I'm saving those DVDs.
Mine's in the safe. It's locked away in the safe, the fireproof safe.
Come on.
That is a treasure.
I might have it still. I have to look, but like I know I saw it when we moved houses, and I don't remember unpacking it. But yeah.
Yeah, and I had Haley sign it, so like, I'm
holy
saving
shit.
it, bro.
Yeah,
you know
dude.
what I mean? Like,
That's worth some
forget
money now.
forget the puppy or whatever. Like, I'm going for the DVD.
Nice.
We're like 10 grand,
There you go. It should be in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Still in its package, like
Yeah.
like not
Perfect.
not unwrapped. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It was fun though. I didn't mind it. I was just walking around, getting a tour of the place, looking at all the parts, and I was like, man, I need this. I need this. I do you guys have this and this? And
Next thing you know, you're like $600 in. You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Imagine working here every day. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I have
gosh.
so much stuff stuck in my desk, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this. Oh, wait, this is very bad now.
I has no monies.
I'm broke.
Oh man.
All right. Welcome to the Big Tex Ordnance Podcast. I'm Ike. I've got Chris Floyd, Ian Mikowski, and then our guest, Bryan, from Slytac now. Thanks for coming out. You were here for the MSP class over the weekend. From what I understand, you did not black belt patch, so he's sticking around for the
Oof.
Yeah.
It's all right. Neither did Chris.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't feel so bad because even Hunter didn't take it, right? And he was AI, so it's okay.
Yeah.
If he took another patch, we'd have to beat him.
Yeah, there'd be some repercussions there. We gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, dude. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah.
It's been awesome seeing the new facility and seeing y'all's growth. So it's been pretty cool to see that. And yeah, I was here for the class, right? So I took Jedi's class. This class probably about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's been a good minute. And so I wanted to come back, retake the class, see like how his teaching style has changed, new material, or just as most instructors like grow and their material changes and the way they deliver the material gets refined. And that was definitely the case here. And really the mission was, get that BB patch, right? So the black belt patch. Got 2 out of the 4 stages. The first time I took it, I got 3 out of the 4, but just didn't get it this time. So yeah, I'm coming back tomorrow to win that patch.
Nice.
So that's
there you go. That's the spirit.
That's the goal.
So tomorrow, is he doing the whole course again, Tuesday and Wednesday?
Yeah, he's got a 2-day class starting tomorrow again at the range.
Yeah, so like a year ago, we booked him for this past weekend, and it sold out like instantly. So Bev's like, hey, what if Scott just stay down there for a couple extra days? So he has today off. Today's Monday. We're recording right now.
Yeah.
Then Tuesday and Wednesday he's doing another class just because, and that one sold out like almost as fast too. That way everyone that wanted to take it can. And then we're doing the same thing next year, and that's already almost all the way sold out for a year out. He's
got the instructor and the standard class next year. Yeah.
That's gonna be a good time.
Nice.
If I don't pass it, you may see me again, but that's not an option.
Go in there with the mindset. I am getting this. All I have to do is just show up and do it.
Yeah,
It's already
I think
done.
I hyper focused it this time, right? Because that
a lot
was
of pressure.
that was the mission. I wanted to come back as a personal thing. I'm like, I need to get that patch, right? So, as most of us probably within this profession, like, hey, I don't want to fail this, right? And we do. That's part of the process, and that's okay. But I'm gonna kind of ease up a little bit on it and just kind of let it do. Like I was telling Chris, like I'm not gonna focus on it too much this time and just show up and let it do. And
The Frank Proctor way.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly right. So I'll summon some of a Frank spirit and be like, all right,
Little Alabama surfer
yes, Alabama surfer man. Yep.
dude. But yeah, so I guess for those of y'all that may not be familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and kind of what you got going on.
Yeah. So again, name's Bryan Veliz. I've been full-time LE for about 11 years now. So I work down in the border, which is Del Rio, Texas, right? It's about 4 hours southwest from here. And so I've been copping full-time for about, going on 11 years. And started, super early in my career, went through the academy, went through the FTO, which is the Field Training Officer Program, which most of us do. Most guys in law enforcement, right, go through that whole process. And so that was about a year's worth, 6 months on the academy, 6 months on the FTO program. So essentially a year of quote unquote training and getting ready to be a cop, right? So I call that Academy 1. The real academy is when you get on the street.
Yeah.
Right? So that's like Academy 2.0, and that's where you really learn, right? So when I was going through that and got through FTO program, at some point during that, somebody handed me those Magpul Dynamics DVDs. Like somebody busted that out, right? And if you've heard a podcast with me before, you've probably heard this before, so just bear with me. But somebody busted those out like they were like the secret sauce, right? So I watched, the Holy Grail, right? So I watched those things and I was like, man, like that looks super awesome. And that's not what we did in the academy, right? So I signed up for a class. And I come from a small department, right? So not a big budget, not a lot of resources, and especially for border town. That's pretty common. So I put in for the class, and I don't remember how much it was at the time. Pretty expensive, right? So I put in for the class, and then my department's like, hey, man, like, how much is this class? Like, how much ammo do you need? And, like, it's, like, 4 or 5 hours away. I have to pay for a hotel and all that, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, man, it's just too expensive, right? Also, like, you haven't been a year on patrol yet. Right, and that's kind of too advanced. Let's SWAT stuff. Like, so they denied it. So I was like, okay. So I looked for a different class, a little bit less expensive, maybe not so far away. Put in for that class too. Like, hey, denied. Right. So after about my 5 or 6 like denial requests, I was like,
keep getting beat down.
I was like, all right, that's kind of a clue, yeah.
Yeah.
So I started busting my ass on OT. Right. So I did nothing but OT for about 7 years straight. We'll sync all the time, right? So busting mass and OT. All that OT money went to training, to ammo, to gear, you name it, right? So I invested into myself, right, during that time, and because I knew the department just wasn't going to invest in me, right? So I took a whole bunch of classes, right, as I was still copping. I became a firearms instructor, fell in love with training and shooting. That wasn't the original goal. I always knew I wanted to be in law enforcement and military from an early age, so I knew I wanted to go in one of those professions. But as I followed one passion, it led to another passion, which was training and shooting. And so around 2016, I took a class, took VCQB, right, with William Petty from Centrifuge Training. And during that time, I also was kind of in the pursuit of wanting to start my own company because there wasn't a lot of that going on within my region. There wasn't anybody teaching training outside of the department within my region. So I was like, hey, man, I feel like I can help fill that void. And as far as my department, there was limited opportunities of advancement. You could become a sergeant. You could go to detective vision and different things like that. But I didn't want to do that because I knew it was going to take away time from me being able to travel and to train and all that, right? So I didn't want to advance up. So I was happy living the patrol life, right? So day shift, right?
Yeah.
Night shift, whatever. So when I took that class with Will, I picked his brain like, hey, man, what goes in on starting your own company? But also what's it like to teach outside of the department, right? I had taught some classes inside the department, but teaching inside the department for me, there's some skin in the game, but it's mostly mandated stuff, right? Compared to teaching outside of the department, there's a lot of skin in the game. There's a lot more reputation in the game because people are paying you, right? So they're investing money, but most importantly, their time to be there.
Yeah.
As we often say in classes, you can always get money back, right? But what you can't get back is time.
It's gone.
It's
Yeah.
gone, right? So that was a different dynamic. So I was like, hey, man, like, do you mind if I just shadow you? I'm trying to learn more about teaching outside the department and what goes in on that. So he was super receptive about that, right? So he's like, yeah, man, come on out. If we got a hotel room, you can crash on the couch or we can snuggle buddy on the same bed, right? Like, I was like, all right, as long as we make a pillow for it, we're good, right? So I would shadow as much as I could and then launch my own company called Slytac Training, I believe in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Taught a year full-time with Slytac, and then COVID hit, so it just kind of just nullified everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think I only taught maybe 4 classes during that year. And then Will was like, hey, man, why don't you join us full-time? So I was teaching with Centrifuge full-time for 2 years, and then now just left to go back to restart Slytac.
Nice.
But, yeah, man, that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you still copping?
Yes.
Nice.
So I'm part-time, so I'm not full-time, but I'm on a part-time position there. So I can still pull shifts, right? I can work OT overtime. I'm also part of the training cadre still, so I'm getting ready this year to handle the in-service training and get guys spun up on low light, on vehicle stuff. These could be a different combination of things because we have an academy that's going to start soon. So when the academy happens, it kind of slows down some of the training in-house that needs to be done. So I'm going to head that up, spear that.
Oh, nice.
So I'm still there.
Nice.
Yes, I'm
nice.
still
That's
there.
awesome
Yeah.
that you get to like still work with your. Is it the original department you got hired on with?
Yes, so still
Nice.
with the sheriff's department there, and the sheriff was super cool. Like I was like, hey man, like I'd like to talk to you, boss, about a couple of things that I'd like to do. You know, I've been traveling and training, and I see how different departments bring in other instructors, and I think we could greatly benefit from that, right? So we can bring in people. I can teach classes at our range, so our guys aren't having to travel out of town.
Yeah.
So it costs you nothing, right? So because everybody gets a take-home unit, the department will supply ammo, right? Guys are getting training hours towards their license.
Oh, yeah.
It costs them nothing.
Yeah.
All they have to do is bring up
Nothing
lunch.
but positives.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
So just bring lunch, show up, do the work, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the department's like, oh, like the sheriff
Yeah.
was like, hey, let's do that.
Yeah.
Right. So it worked out pretty well.
That's cool that you get to like, I don't want to say give back, but like you got hired on as like, you know, a nobody, and now you're you and you're giving back to like your department and like your other officers within, you know, your ranks and everything. That's
Definitely.
super cool.
Definitely trying, right? So there's been some uphill battles, right? But definitely that's the goal, right? That's one reason why I want to start my own company, because I feel like we're all put on this earth for a purpose, and you know, I believe in God, and I feel like God told me like, hey man, like this is what you should be doing to help serve, right? So, yeah, man.
Nice. I dig it.
Yeah. So with Slytac, what? So I think I met you. Was it at a? I think it was at a Sage class. Yeah.
I don't know
at
if
the
it was
ranch.
the 2-day or 3-day class, but it was at a Sage class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where we first met.
Man,
I
that was
think you were.
probably
I think that was right before you started Slytac, or maybe right after. It was.
that was years ago. That was years ago, bro. Like probably 2015.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm way off.
It was, yeah. That was only when they only had one bay. That
Yeah, it
main
was just that
bay,
one big.
just one
Yeah,
big
yeah.
bay,
at the
right?
ranch.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think
met
you were there.
I
Were you
think
there? You
I
were
think
probably
I
there.
was at the same class.
If there was a Sage class at the
Yeah.
ranch, you were probably
I think
there.
it was the 3-day class. We were all there.
Yes.
That was like the last time Aaron ran a 3-day class and everything.
Yeah, that was I think defensive handgun, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and check like my cert and to see what year, because I'm just curious now to
Sometimes
see.
all the classes like they run together, you know.
Oh
It's-
yeah, man.
And trying to get the dates right is.
Yep.
Is always,
People are always like, "Hey, where you going next?" or "Where you coming from?" I'm like, "Bro, I forgot."
Bro,
Like, you know what I
I
mean? Like
got-
everything mingles. I'm sure with you, how busy you guys are. You know what I mean? It's just like I was telling Ian earlier. I was like, "Dude, I can't believe it's already Christmas. Like in 4 days."
Oh,
you
I
know
know.
what I mean?
This year flew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flew.
Yeah.
Like luckily we already have our Christmas shopping done, so I looked at my watch the other day and saw the date. I'm like, oh holy crap, you know, like it's coming up, man. It's sneaking up. Yeah.
That was me a little bit last minute. Well, not, it was kind of last minute. So of course I have to stay a couple extra days. So I told the wife, and I was like, "Hey, baby, like I gotta stay a couple
like,
extra
"I got
days." Yeah, and she's like, she was a little upset about it, right? And I was like, "Well, let me go buy a couple extra things." Like that was on her wish list, right? So, yeah.
But yeah, so with Slytac, what are some of the courses that you're going to be offering now that you're spinning that back up?
So I'll be doing a different gamut of things, right? So be doing mechanized handgun, mechanized carbine, which is definitely performance stuff quite a bit. And then tons of low light. So a couple of my favorite classes to teach would be low light, injured shooter, which we're doing out here, hopefully next year, right?
Yep.
So I don't remember the exact dates, but that'll be posted pretty soon. So low light, injured shooter, and then a few instructor classes as well. That'll be open enrollment instructor classes, depends on the facility, but also LE instructor classes. So looking at injured shooter instructor, looking at a instructor lab is what I'm calling it. That'll be a 2-day, 3-day instructor development class. That's something I'd been working on before I joined Centrifuge. And when I was coming up, there wasn't any resources of like, how do you start your own company, like what goes in on instructing, you know what I mean? There wasn't anything like that. Like I went to Google and like it took me to a weird forum site and I was like, where am I going, right?
Like, oh no, I don't want to instruct
Yeah.
that.
Is approaching.
Yeah, and then I mean there was NRA instructor, I'm sure, but I was just like, I don't know, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the goal behind that class, to help dudes who maybe want to start their own company, to kind of guide them along the way, right? And kind of show them the ins and outs of like what's behind the scenes, and then running a range, creating material, and very data driven behind that. So there's a few different classes that are coming out, new ones. And then what I'm calling solo, which is single man CQB, right? So that's what I did. When I was on patrol, it's like figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So
Especially in a small department, you know.
yeah. On a good day, we would have 4 guys on a shift. On a average day, we have like 2 dudes, maybe 3, right?
Damn.
And
That makes for spicy things.
yeah, right. So big county, but the population I think now is about 40,000 probably. So it's not a huge population, and it'll take you about 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, geographically, it's pretty big footprint.
It's a big footprint. So I mean, if I'm out there by myself, or we get an alarm call, right? Like we're supposed to wait for backup, but sometimes that isn't always available, right?
Might be half an hour.
Yeah, so it just depends where you are in the county, right? Who's available. I mean, most of our backup is either Border Patrol, state troopers if they're around, or patrol dudes, right? But sometimes we have patrol dudes that are tied up on multiple calls.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, let's just kind of figure this out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm creating that class to kind of help combat that a little bit. And yeah, so there's multiple classes that are coming out.
Nice.
Yeah. But definitely low light injured shooter would be some of my top ones to teach.
Yeah, I've never taken your injured shooter class, but I've seen a lot of pictures and videos, and that looks pretty spicy. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff going on.
It's fun, right? So injured shooter that I was taught or experienced in the academy was very, very, very traditional injured shooter, right? It was, and most of the time we did anything like injured shooter, it was during a qual, right? Because we're like at 3 yards or 5 yards. Hey, let's simulate that this support hand is down. So most of the time what guys would do with that is they would hold on to their armor, they'd put it in their vest, behind their back, do whatever they're going to do with it, right? Hey, let's shoot 3 to 5 rounds. Cool. Hey, now we're going to simulate that this hand is down. So what they would show guys is, all right, cool, this hand's back alive. Let's transition this handgun to the support hand, and now this hand is down, right? And then go through that whole process. So you saw that happen quite a bit. And the problem with it is when you look at real life data and multiple officer involved shootings, like that ain't how it's happening. Yeah. So like nobody's giving you time to switch hands. And then, and so we're really trying to show a modern and aggressive approach to injured shooter and combat the problems that we see happening through officer involved shooting data.
Nice.
Right? So it's a really aggressive program. It's fun, right? So if you're still racking your rear sight or your optic off your boot, right? Like that's very old school. Right, so there's injured shooter and then low light, because the low light, especially on the patrol side of the house, that's a bulk load of our engagements, right?
Yep.
Like over 70% of officer involved shootings occur in a low light condition. So whether in an officer perspective or whether just a dude who carries off duty for a living, right? So my average dude just carrying off duty for a living, like if you're like me, I like being out at night versus the daytime. Especially in Texas, you know what I mean? Like
It's a little hot.
It's a bajillion degrees.
Yeah, and most people like very, very they underestimate low light, right? They underestimated like how hard could that be? Just turn the flashlight on, point it at what you're trying to shoot, like easy day. But there's so much other stuff that goes in on that. So, yeah.
So talk about your time with Centrifuge a bit. I know it's from the outside looking in, it seems like, Will going from patrol cop and like spinning up a whole pretty large training company, I would call it. He has like a lot of his programs out there in some pretty larger departments and stuff. How did that kind of help you at all with like spinning Slytac back up? Did you learn a lot, or how was that experience?
Oh yeah, so it was a great experience, especially from a mentorship side of it, right? Learning a lot from him, learning a lot from the guys that are with Centrifuge, like Chase, right? Blake, Dano, like multiple dudes that we have on the team, right? So, I was already teaching VCB, right? I was with Slytac, but I was teaching VCB under the Centrifuge banner, so when I joined full time, it only made sense to do that. But as I was in there for 2 years, man, I learned a lot from the teaching side of the house. I learned a lot about how to be a good instructor, right? I think things that help, and we've talked about, is like, hey, to be a good instructor, you have to be a good AI, right? So being a good assistant instructor really helped me become a good instructor on my own, because you're seeing how things are run from that perspective of that dude teaching the class versus this guy teaching the class, and you learn multiple different things, right? So it was time well spent and well invested, because I really learned and really grew as an instructor, as a better human being, in a business as well. But the biggest thing was like learning how to teach, how to run a class, how to interact with students better, right? How to provide a good experience to students, but also how to provide a good solid program that speaks for itself, right? Backgrounds and so forth are important, but I think the program, if it's a good program, will speak for itself. So, man, it was great. We still are a family unit, and it was a family unit when I got in there. I think that's one of the big benefits of Centrifuge, is that there's no egos within that house, right? Everybody gets along really well, and so we bounce off ideas with each other, like, hey, what do you think about this drill? What do you think about this variation to the program? What do you think about this, right? So it's a very knit ecosystem, if you will. So it's, I can't speak anything bad about it. Like, it's been great being a part of that, right? So, and that definitely helped me grow on my own, and it helped me get prepared to go back to relaunching Slytac, right? So definitely, for sure, like, I can't thank Will and the crew enough for what they've allowed me to do and help me grow as a shooter, as an individual, and then as an instructor. Yeah, man.
I was telling Bryan earlier, I was messing around on Instagram or yesterday, and Centrifuge Canada popped up on my Instagram, and I was like, oh, like, I know Centrifuge has a really big, umbrella, but I was like, oh shit, they're in Canada too. Like, they're messing around on that page. I was like, oh damn, like that's pretty cool that it's y'all cover that, whole part of the world.
It's growing, right? So shout out to my snow Mexicans out there, right, as we call them. They'll get a kick out of that. I was kind of getting hopeful that we'd start like Centrifuge Mexico, but it just
right
didn't go there. You know what I mean? So I would have led that up. But yeah, man, it's grown so much, and I think that speaks volumes to Will and everybody involved. Is the material, the programs that are being created, speak for themselves, and multiple different agencies, departments have recognized that and have adopted VCQB, high-risk vehicle stops, various different programs, right? So, yeah, man, I think it does speaks for itself, right? So it's a good company, right? It's a very well-known brand, and it was awesome to be a part of, right? So, yeah.
So for 2023, are you traveling like all over the country, staying local to Texas? What's the plan look like for your schedule for 2023?
So I plan on traveling all over the U.S. Right. So if you want to host me, just reach out. But that's the plan, to travel all over the U.S.
Nice.
Definitely hit up Texas as well, because I'm a Texas boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep it local.
Good places like VTO that are hosting us. Right. So it's awesome. But yeah, definitely gonna travel all over as much as I can. And probably teach maybe 2 to 3 times a month or more. Right. Jedi, if you're watching, you're like, those are rookie numbers.
Yeah, Jedi's
right?
like,
he's like, that's
those
it.
numbers up, kid.
Yeah.
He's like at 50 something a year.
Oh no, 103 was yesterday. 104 will be tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of air miles.
I was just about
That's
to say
status,
that.
though.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
facts.
That's that.
Yeah.
Got that platinum, diamond status, whatever.
Yeah, platinum, diamond, the super elite.
Which I wish I was smarter about that early on, and instead of like using Booking.com to like book this hotel or book this flight and try to find the cheapest flight, like I wish I would have just stayed with American, or I wish I would have stayed with one or two like hotel chains and then just got status earlier on. I have pretty good status now, but I definitely missed out on quite a few flights and hotels, right? So if you're listening and you're thinking about traveling, like stick with 1 and 2 places, and that's it, right? Build your status up.
Travel hacks.
Yeah, because it does help for sure.
I feel like when you have like that many air miles, they let you fly the plane. Like I wonder if Scott's like, hey, like
Is Scott like just like a part owner of Delta now?
yeah, like hey, welcome aboard. We have the seat next to the pilot's open for you, and just this is where you're sitting today.
Oh, Mr. Jedlinski, thank you for flying. Thank you for coming. We have your whole cabin here. You
Yeah.
have all of first class to yourself.
I think
Hold on, let me throw this peasant out.
even if you have enough status, like, and you need a seat, like if you have higher status, they'll kick this dude out that who has lower status.
Oh,
like,
shit.
let's
Yeah,
remove
like-
you,
Yeah.
peasant, because you don't have enough status. I'm like,
Go away with you.
could you imagine being that dude? Like you think you're going home, and then like, hey, I'm sorry, man. Like we got to give this seat to somebody else. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a seat in the cargo hold
Yeah.
next to the left wheel if you're interested.
You can sit in the lavatory. You
Yeah.
can sit in the bathroom.
Oh man. But yeah, the plan is to travel all over, right? Be busy, still work shifts when I can,
Yeah.
and do the family thing at home, right? So full-time dad when I'm home, right? So staying busy with that.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So the wife's super supportive of me traveling and training. So thanks, baby, for watching, for letting me stay an extra 2 days to get the standard.
And you take a bunch of classes too, right? I know you talked about it earlier on. Took a lot of classes starting out and stuff.
Yeah.
What are some of the classes you've taken? Obviously, Scott yesterday and tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are some of the ones you took this year? Any ones that stand out?
Unfortunately, I didn't take any because I was so busy, right? So I didn't have time to take classes.
Oh, you're teaching all the time,
Right, so teaching, and then when I'm home, I'm either working shifts or just spending time with the family, right? Because I think I was gone about maybe 100-something days, almost 200 days of the year,
Oh,
somewhere
wow.
around there, right? So I was gone
a
quite a bit, right?
Good chunk.
Yeah, so I was
Pretty-
like, well,
pretty good
I'll
chunk.
I'll spend time at home because it's important. So, but next year coming up, I'm gonna try to hit about 6 to 8 classes. I already have them on the calendar,
Nice.
right? So I'm just planning those accordingly. So I'd like to take quite a bit for sure. But yeah, because for a while there, all I did was train and take classes, right? So I think I'm like about 35, 36 classes right now
Oh, wow.
that I've taken on my own time since 2012 till now, right? So I've taken obviously Jedi's classes with Frank Proctor, obviously with Centrifuge dudes, Steve Fisher, John Dufresne, right?
Yep.
Which was fun. I just got done with that class. Night Vision 1.
Oh, you shot that, what was it, last weekend? Or
Yeah, up at the ranch,
Yeah.
right? So that was fun because my experience with night vision has been pretty much PVS 7 life,
Okay.
right? So my department was I don't know, like I don't know where they got them from a grant or something, right? So they had PVS 7, so I was like, oh man, that's super cool when I joined, right? It's like I can see at night. That's all I cared about. I didn't know. I thought that I was like high tech, right, at the time. So I had been rocking a PVS 7 forever. Right, and then as I went through training and saw like what guys were running, I'm like, oh man,
Oh, whoa.
yeah, like there's totally better things than PVS 7, right? So that was my experience, and most of the time when I shot that thing, it would just turn off, right? I was like, cool. So that was a great class for me to actually be in because that was my first official night vision class.
Nice.
So that was cool to be a part of. So I got like a T&E set of nods right to try out, and then somebody loaned me a suppressor because that's what I'm working on, right? Suppressor and SBR, etc. So I kind of piecemealed some of that, but it was super fun to be a part of, and then just getting schooled up on night vision stuff and kind of breaking down some of the myths that I was either taught or heard of, throughout time. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have this type of zero parallel versus convergence versus infinity, and you name it, right? So if you've never taken a night vision class, definitely recommend that. So I'm looking forward to go back to night vision 2 and do some other stuff with John. So taking his class, and then Haley Strategic, right? That was the first class I took
Oh,
in 2012, I think it was. Yeah, it was the first class I took. Obviously, Magpul, right?
yeah.
So I took that class, took a couple classes with him, and there's been multiple different dudes that I've taken classes with, yeah. So it's all been a good experience. It's all been worth the investment of money and time. Luckily, I think I was lucky enough that I started training in the good, I wouldn't say the good era, but it was a time where there was only certain people that were teaching, right, and very good instructors. Not that that's really changed, but it was a hit after hit after hit, right? So I don't think I ever had a bad class or bad experience from any instructor that I took.
Yeah, that's something like there's I don't know, in the past 10, 15 years is like when, to me, it seems like the training community has like really exploded, and there's just so many good opportunities out there. Like if you look back 20 years ago, it was not as accessible as it is today.
What was
you
it?
know,
Pat, Rogers,
Yeah.
Pat.
Gunsight,
Thunder.
Thunder Ranch.
Yeah, Clint Smith,
up in Nacogdoches,
Paul Howe.
Paul Howe, yeah.
Paul Howe, yep.
How long have you been taking classes for?
Forever.
I'm gonna say 2015 because I can't remember. I know there were classes before then, but like the dudes I took classes from don't even teach anymore.
Yeah. How long have you been taking classes for?
Probably 13 or 14, I think, is kind of when I took my first real class.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was like little NRA kind of BS ones, or not. I don't want to say BS, but like.
Yeah, just
there's classes. There's like
there's
2-hour
classes from Joe Bill, and then there's classes from all the other instructors that we break bread with. So
yeah, I was probably 13 or 14.
interesting.
How about you?
2 years ago.
Oh,
I'm new to it, man.
Hey,
I didn't
gotta
start
get those
taking
numbers
classes
up,
until I
rookie.
came to BTO. So
Had to get out of the Great White North.
Yeah, great
yeah.
one.
Yeah, he's from Buffalo.
Yeah, he was
He's
telling me.
almost a snow Mexican.
Yeah, I'm basically I'm not as beautifully brown as you. I'm
Sorry,
pink.
it's
and
natural.
see-through. Yeah, it's all right.
I lived in New Jersey for a year, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
Hated
I'm
it.
so sorry.
When was that?
Yeah. Oh, man, I don't know, like 2010, something like that, right?
I
So,
love Buffalo. I mean, hate New York.
Yeah.
I love the snow. I miss the snow. Like I'm not built for 8 months of 100 degrees. No.
We're not built for 8 months of snow.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I was literally the definition of a snow Mexican. Like,
What's this guy doing?
I was like, I hate snow. Couldn't do it. We had to plow a driveway. I was like, no, I'm going back to Texas.
Yeah.
No, done.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, coming from there, I mean, you can have guns, but not what it is here or in other states. And there really isn't, like, now I know there's some dudes that have some training stuff in New York, but I wasn't, like, into it. I mean, I was into it. Like, I've been listening to PNS for a decade.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, like, anything that I had anything to take. I did, my training was the Army, and that was it. And then moved here, and now it's this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny, like I'm older than, how old are you?
31.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Oh shit, twinsies.
God, I'm the grand. How old are you, Brian?
Man, I feel old now.
Oh,
I didn't know you guys were 31. I'm like 34.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
he is.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not the oldest in the room.
Shit.
Oh man, now I feel old. Man,
But it's funny looking back at it is like, you've been taking classes for over a decade. You've been taking classes over a decade. You've been taking classes over a decade. I'm like, 2 years.
I know you've packed quite a few in the past 2 years.
Oh
so.
yeah, I mean it's been a blessing being able to meet people and take classes working here. But it's cool. I mean I love it. It's all right. Where are we going this weekend? Where are we going next weekend? And taking different things. But it's like, oh man, like y'all have a decade on me at least, if not longer, taking classes, and it makes me jelly. Like I want to take more classes.
you'll get there.
I know one day.
Well, make sure you come out to low light or injured shooter.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, it's right across the street.
Yeah,
Dude.
right down the road.
You
So
have no
far.
You can't miss it.
It's so far away.
I was pulling up. I was like, hey, there's a range. And I was going to the left. And I'm like, oh, man, that's super convenient. Like, it's just right here. Like, everything's just in this compound. Like,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Right?
It's our CIA black site.
And it's kind of cool. Like, we all kind of somewhat started around the same time, right? So
Yeah.
we kind of all grew up through it. And, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of options back then. Most of the time, if I found out about classes, it was on a forum site, like whatever site that was.
Light fighter.
Yeah, and Google wasn't really what it is today, and YouTube
Yeah.
wasn't. It's YouTube and social media is not like how it is now. So yeah, it was all word of mouth and just kind of hitting up the same instructor and then asking students like, hey, like who else do you recommend? Like, oh, dude, I recommend this guy and this guy, right? So all right, cool, let's check that out, right? And then, I don't know, just looking at different organizations like TTPOA, right? So I found out about those dudes, and I was like, oh, man, there's a lot of good instructors on here.
Yeah.
Right,
They've done a lot for the whole, training community on the LE side.
Yeah.
Bringing a lot of good instructors, and they've done a lot of really good work, I think.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for those dudes, too, because they helped me out quite a bit. I taught, I think, once or twice at the conference, so they helped me get a little bit of startup. So TTPOA is a great organization. Like, I recommend them a lot. But it was surprising when I found out about them, like, I don't know, it's probably maybe 3 years on the job. I don't know how I found out about it. But, just searching on the work computer, and I was looking at classes, and I tell the dudes on shift or other different departments, like, hey, you should check out the TTPOA website. They're like, what's that? And I'm like, how do you guys not know about that? You know what I mean? So just strange that people don't know about that organization. And even still, like today, some guys don't know about it.
I mean, there's states that don't even have stuff like that, though. I mean, there's TTPOA, there's OTOA. Is there? I know there's other stuff out there, but it's like that's such great knowledge and training for a community that needs it, and like dudes that need that. So yeah,
I haven't done too many like conferences, but I think out of the best two would be TTPOA and then OTOA.
Yeah.
That at least I've been a part of or experienced, right? So I'm sure there's others, but yeah.
Did you go with us to OTOA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah, that was our first time going up there. I think it was me and Maddie and you, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we checked that out for the vendor day.
Yeah.
Nice. But it's they put on a pretty good show, and then whole days of training after the vendor show, which we didn't get to see, but I mean the people that they had coming out there were good quality folks.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be out there. I plan to be out at TTPOA for sure, and then
we'll be there.
OTOA I'm not too sure, it just depends on schedule, but I'm gonna plan to be at both. And either teach or just go. Right, so we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
One thing you brought up earlier too was the Magpul training DVDs. I wonder how many people like got their start with that, because I mean, full disclosure, Art of the Dynamic Handgun, I think I was working at a gun shop, and that DVD was there. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. So I got it. I'm like, holy cow, oh dude, that's awesome. Woo, the whole like cool factor, and for all its for what that DVD is, I think it, with all its flaws, it's still got that whole DVD series. For all its flaws, I think it's still got a lot of people.
Oh, it gatewayed a ton of dudes.
Here's the gateway drug for a ton of people.
I mean, I had it in New York. I mean, it was like I bought a tricked out Magpul 870, and the dynamic shotgun was in there, and I was like, all right, what's this? Threw it in, and I was like, yep, I'm going to buy dummy rounds, and I plan on doing all of this stuff. And that was, I mean, I had one of those DVDs.
When you say that, I just think of like being in New York, and those DVDs are like prohibited. Like, you gotta hide that somewhere, like hide that behind the wall. You know what I mean?
You got that dynamic shotgun DVD?
You got a guy with like a trench coat. He's got like all the Magpul DVDs.
Yeah, man. I think those videos don't get the credit that they deserve. And I'm sure we all have that similar story. Like you saw that, you bought that DVD or whatever, and you're like, oh man, like I need to do this. I need to go take a class, right? So those videos were definitely a gateway, right?
Yeah.
So that exploded training, I think, to what it is now.
I think I just got rid of that DVD too.
How could you get rid of it?
I think when we moved, it got like we went through like all of our DVDs, and I was like, I don't know who.
Here's
knows?
the thing: like if my house is burning down, right?
Save the
like
dynamic.
I'm saving those DVDs.
Mine's in the safe. It's locked away in the safe, the fireproof safe. That is
come on.
That is a treasure.
I might have it still. I have to look, but like I know I saw it when we moved houses, and I don't remember unpacking it. But yeah.
Yeah, and I had Haley sign it, so like
I'm
I'm saving it, bro.
Yeah,
you know
dude,
what I mean? Like
that's worth some
forget
money now.
forget the puppy or whatever. Like I'm going for the DVD.
Nice.
We're like $10,000,
There you go.
This should be in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Still in its package, like not unwrapped. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those DVDs don't get enough credit for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they kick started a lot of dudes into this path or this down that road. Yeah, I know it definitely did for me.
Yeah, definitely.
You have any classes that you guys are taking coming up?
Oh, let's see.
Chris is the class master.
Chris is over here like.
So, let's see. Give me a minute here.
I got too many.
Because as of right now, I don't have anything until after SHOT. Then
I thought you were gonna say the rest of the year. I'm like, dude, it's like the 20th.
yeah, the rest technically yes, the rest of the year I don't have any more classes. I might run across and go see Scott for a minute and
Yeah.
try and snag that patch like Bryan over here, but no, everything starts February.
Yeah.
Is that with the 4?
Uh
Or do you have one before that?
no, I got some other stuff.
Because we're both in a
Alex
class.
from Ridgeline's going to be here.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at
And,
that. That'd be a
So that's scoped rifle or scope carbine.
yep,
And I was like, oh, I'm going to take that. Click.
yep.
Then, like, I know I got a Pressburg class here at the range. And then I know I really want to get into one of Chuck's rifle classes, and he's got it up there in Oklahoma.
Mead Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, Mead Hall. And I'm like, maybe. Then I got 4 days with DeFore, the Bruiser Industries class.
That's in March, I think.
Yeah, that's March. I know Brokos is going to be down here in March. I'm trying to think. Some stuff with Green Ops, with Hunter and Mike and all them, Matt. I think Fisher was going to be down for some shooting on the move classes out at the ranch.
Bill's coming to town in August.
Me and Craig from Templar Defense got Bill to come down for a rifle class in April or May.
Is that sign up yet open for that?
Yeah. All you do is just email. If you guys want to go to that one, email Bill, and his wife Jill will get with you and get you all signed up for the class. And it's down south from here in a small town called Wallace. It's in Houston still.
Yeah.
So it's not far. But
I need to get in that class.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I plan on taking Bill's NVG instructor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just want to learn more about it. I don't plan on teaching it, and maybe we do for the department, but just to learn more about it, right? Because I only have limited knowledge on that, and it's just good to know.
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And it'd be fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm gonna take a low-light instructor with John Dufresne.
Oh,
right?
yep.
I'll take that in January. NVG instructor, and then have a couple classes with Mark Smith. Right, I'm gonna try to take a class with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
trying to
good,
get
dude.
him down for either handgun or rifle.
Yeah.
Too. So.
Yeah, because I haven't been able to take much classes, right? So I'm gonna use this year one to teach, but also to take classes. Because I was telling Chris earlier, like when I'm teaching, yeah, I'm shooting, and I like to get on the line with shoot and demo, obviously. But it's not the same as just taking a class and just shooting, right? So I definitely want to just hit up a lot of classes this year and just continue to hone the craft, right, and just get better, right? Because the journey never ends, right?
Yeah.
So the journey never ends. So we have multiple classes. Hopefully, that I'll be attending next year.
Nice.
On the books.
Yeah, the only one that I signed up for right now is that Bruiser one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a NPE one up in Dallas I want to take in, I think, October or November. That's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for now. But I'm sure there's going to be, like, a bunch more that come up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got DeFore and then that Bruiser class already. That's paid for. That's on the books. I have to go to that. One thing you talked about was time. That's my biggest issue right now is finding the time to set aside for it. But I've got those two. I'm probably going to take no fail with Chuck when he comes down, just because it's right there. So that
You got no excuse.
that's the cool
you know
thing.
What I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, we're bringing all these awesome instructors in, so it makes the whole time thing a lot more convenient because I can sleep in my own bed at night. I can still be with the kids,
Yep.
and then I don't lose a day or two of travel.
Yep.
Because that's another thing too. It's like you're taking a 2-day class, and then if you have to go fly somewhere, that's a 4-day commitment now. Or you either have to, or 3 days with a lot of driving. So the time aspect of it's.
You can just,
I will
walk out
drop
of your
that
office
shit.
and I think we'll go take a no-fail pistol today.
Yeah.
What's on the calendar? What's going on? Yeah, let's just go. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think I guess
Bill was coming for pistol across the street too, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bill's coming for a pistol across the street, and then also we're piggybacking off of that Wallace class. He's coming up for a 1-day little workshop.
Okay.
Since he's going to be in town, he's going to extend his stay, do like a little 1-day workshop for some dudes.
Nice.
Which actually we posted about it in the friends group.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, 'cause
probably
like
make that public here.
As soon as you
before too long.
dropped that one, I was like, Bill, let me in, homie.
Yeah.
So,
What you guys need to do is get like a little additional area here where just instructors can just sleep and hang out.
bunkhouse.
Yeah,
bunkhouse.
dude, we should totally make a bunkhouse here.
you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
All we need is a shower. We have like 5 bathrooms over here.
You could just like connect a hose to the spigot outside. And just, you guys can take cold showers in the morning.
I've done worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could sound better than baby wipes.
Yeah, and that's what we had to do at the ranch with John, right? There was no hot water.
Oh, so
So no hot water.
the
So
pipes.
like in it wasn't cold outside, but it was kind of cool, right? So the temperature was changing. But you get done with class on day 1 and day 2, right? So on day 1, I took a cold shower after class, but it was miserable, right? Like it was just like little spouts here and there. Like man, like right? I left soap on my body. I didn't care, right?
Yeah.
It was just the hair and whatever, right? So, and then on day 2, I was like, man, I ain't taking a cold shower. I'll just wait in the morning and take a cold shower. Like, so I was like, no, hated it. But yeah, man, I just, in case, hey, we got to stay here, just hang out.
Yeah.
You can sleep at the warehouse. You can
Yeah.
pull some orders for us, and then go to teacher class. That'd be great.
We're here to help you guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get the full value out of it.
Yeah, because I was thinking, well, I guess I'll be up here a lot. If everybody's coming out here, I'll be driving back and forth.
Yeah, we'll just get you a little bunk bed or something next to the prison.
Set up
gym.
some hammocks or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Hammock, cod, something,
Yeah.
right? We'll be fine. I'll sleep in here.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah,
Nice.
chairs are comfortable enough. You could probably put a couple together.
That leather couch, right?
There you go.
There you go.
You going to SHOT Show this year?
I wasn't planning on it, but it looks like I may be going for at least 2 to 3 days max.
Oh,
So
nice.
I won't be going like the whole week like I did the past few times. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go about 2 to 3 days max. So probably show up Sunday and then probably bounce Wednesday, right?
Gotcha,
So something like that. But yeah, so go get a little bit of work done and just hang out, see everybody, right? The biggest thing I think for SHOT Show for me is just hanging out with friends I haven't seen in a while, right? Obviously partners and friends, and just kind of mingling. But yeah, probably about 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, that's our biggest thing is like it's the one time a year when everyone is in the same town at one time.
Yeah.
So like just seeing all your friends that you don't get to see
Mm-hmm.
throughout the year, and then what's also cool is like you might be talking to somebody and you're like, oh, you should go link up with this guy, and then like they're in the same town, so you can just text them and like go meet up or whatever. It's a lot more convenient. SHOT Show. I don't work a booth, so it's not that bad. People always talk a lot of shit about it. I have a great time.
Yeah.
Good food, get to see all my buddies, and
Yeah.
we get to hang out, and it's always a good time.
I could imagine like working a booth and being stuck in the booth is very,
I don't think that would be a good time.
yeah, like, oh man.
I've done that. I didn't do SHOT Show, but like Dallas Safari Club Show when I was doing the suppressor stuff, like the amount of people can get painful really quickly.
Yeah.
So, but when they hand you a fat stack of cash, you're like, I don't care anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it's going to be this year compared to. I mean, last year was my first year, and it was apparently a lot different.
Yes,
From
totally.
years
Did you go
past.
last year?
Yeah, that was pretty nice because it
Yeah.
wasn't crowded like the previous years, right? So you could walk around, you could actually talk to people and hear them and
Yes.
and whatnot, even though they're like, hey, mask, blah, blah, blah. Which, here's a hack, which I learned from John. He's like, hey, so to avoid having to wear a mask, he's like, I would just walk around with a cup, right? So it would look like I was drinking something.
Yeah.
But he's like, the cup was just empty, right? So every time they'd be like, hey, mask on or whatever, he's like, I'm drinking, like, I got a cup, right? So I don't know if they're going to do that again, but there's your hack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I think COVID is dead for our industry. We're like, yeah.
Well, even last year at SHOT, like you'd be walking in like the main hallway or whatever, and then when you go in, they're like mask. Oh, okay, yeah. Put it up, and then like once you get inside, like everyone has it off, so you just take it off and put it in your pocket.
I only had one dude bother me about masks, and I was on the top floor because, doing the manufacturing stuff. Like, one dude following people around doing that shit. Like, other than that, like, I guess they just look at big bearded men. They're like, ooh, he might bite me.
I think a lot. So like in our industry, not a lot of people were wearing them anyways.
Yeah.
So I think they got tired of telling people masks because people just like ignored them. So
Yeah.
I think after a while they're just like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah.
Props to those people like doing that job. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, last year was awesome, man. Like you said, you could talk to
Yeah.
people, you could hear conversations, and it was nowhere near as crowded as it
Yeah, I'm
was.
interested to see if it's going to be like that again, or if it's going to be back to the old ways, or I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be like.
I think COVID was probably good for them because they were able to cut out people that probably shouldn't be at SHOT, and they can limit it to like only straight up industry. So
I definitely got more value out of SHOT last year. Like the
Yeah.
time that I was on the floor, it was a lot more productive because you could actually hear. You didn't have to wait in line for the dudes like, hey, what kind of stickers you got? You have to
Yeah.
wait for those guys. to actually
New
go talk to some.
patches and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Hey, what free shit do you have? You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Which is okay. We all been there the first time. That was me the first time. Like I gotta go everywhere and like get this and get that. And then I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. Yeah. Never doing that again.
Forget who it was. I think it might have been Nelson Rodriguez from Velocity. Like, you know, he's over there. He's like, and you got these guys that come up. They're like, hey, so what do y'all do? Oh yeah, and then you have to like they pretend to be interested and stuff, and then he's like, here, do you want to patch? Just like go away, you know? It's like because you don't know, like you're never gonna do anything. You're just after the free stuff. So here go away.
Here you go. Yeah.
Nice.
You guys going?
Yeah, we'll be there. I think we're getting. Well, you're going from Arizona. You're going to be with the wife.
Yeah. The wife and I are taking a little. We're going to see one of her girlfriends, so I'm going to be gone for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Go. I'm coming from Arizona, and then I'm going to meet you guys there.
We're going in Sunday.
Yeah,
are you going there Sunday? Okay, yeah. Yeah, me and Maddie are getting in Sunday, and I think heading out Friday.
Yeah,
so
we're all on the same flight home.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there all week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one, but shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. No. I'm sure I'll run into you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see you out there walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else cool happening? I know you're working on the 2023 schedule.
Yeah, so that should be up this week. Hopefully it'll be done today, or sometime this week. So I'm gonna get the new website up. So working on a new website, so that'll be up today, tomorrow, right? For sure, this week for sure. So that'll be up without the whole year planned out. So I like to just do the whole year versus like quarterly or whatever. So that way everybody can plan accordingly, right? Because there's multiple classes going on, multiple instructors, and especially dudes who need to like let departments know 2 months or 3 months in advance, like, hey, they're going to be off, right? So the whole schedule will be out. I'll probably add a couple more classes throughout the year, but that'll be out this week. So website, schedule, that'll be all out. So that'll be going, and then just get ready to start teaching for 2023, right? So this is the last class. Well, yesterday should have been the last class. So this is the second last class, right, for me for the year, and then just be home, spend time with the family. Got a lot of honeydews to do, right? Got a lot of making up to do. So got to get some stuff done around the house, take it easy, and then go to SHOT, and then just get everything ready for 2023 after that.
Yeah. Looking forward to it, man. It sounds like it's going to be pretty cool.
I'm excited, man. I think it's a good time. Good time to be back. I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to training with you guys and everybody else out there, and taking multiple classes. That was one thing I missed last year and the year before. It's like, man, I miss taking classes, right?
Yeah.
So, and I was telling Chris it was just fun to shoot, right? So just fun to shoot and worry about performance, and that was it.
Not having to worry about running a range and keeping the curriculum moving and all that stuff. You can just go and just shoot. You know,
the biggest thing about teaching it's not physically tiring; it's mentally tiring.
Oh, I
right?
imagine.
Because you're watching multiple different things. Your delivery on the POI, safety stuff, demos, right? You name it. It's always more mentally tiring than physically. Even though, like, if your demos are physical, you're still out there with the students. You're still standing, but it's just not the same, right? So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to just shooting. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Where can everybody find you?
So everybody can find me on Instagram at Slytac Training, right? As well, when the website launches this week, slytactraining.com. Those are the two probably easiest places to find me. Facebook is the same, but I'm not super active on Facebook as I am on Instagram, right? But the Facebook's there, so you can find me there, and then reach out to me, DM me, and I'm good about responding to DMs, text, or you can email me.
Just slide into those DMs.
Just slide into those DMs, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so easy to find me, right? So I'll be on there. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have links to all the website, Facebook, social, like kind of stuff, and also link to the class for that we have coming up here at BTO Range.
I think we'll post that on the one of the Facebook pages, I'm sure.
Okay, cool.
Right, we'll post those classes for you guys. We'll get that going.
I think I sent you the invite to the BTO training.
Yes.
Thing. So
we'll post that. Yeah, I think we're doing one in earlier kind of, and then one in the fall, something. So I know we're doing low light here, and we're doing injured shooter. Cool thing about low light is we can do it 9 to 5. Right.
Yes.
Because it's indoors.
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
Which is always so weird when you get done, because like you get out and it's like still daytime.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. Like, you know what I mean?
I was just teaching a low light class.
Yeah. Like what's going on here? It's like, I guess, being in Alaska. You know what I mean? You just get slow light for 1 hour maybe. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah, man.
Very cool.
Well, cool. Thanks again for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Good hanging out with you, and hearing everything that you have coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you guys. I definitely enjoyed the opportunity to be on y'all's podcast. It was a good time for sure.
Yeah.
Even though we had a little bit of technical errors, we
Yeah.
worked through it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is so also little side note here. This is my first time. Chris Greenfield, which is normally the guru behind all this, he's out of town right now with his lovely wife, and I'm here trying to figure all this out. So if the quality is horrible, if you can't even see this or something, I don't know.
It's all Chris's fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're gonna
blame
blame Chris. But so if the quality was horrible, that is 100% my fault. And I apologize in advance, or actually not advance because now it's the end. But anyways, so we appreciate you watching and all that stuff. And hopefully this episode turned out all right. If not,
You did a good job.
okay, cool.
Yeah, you
I
did a good
appreciate
job,
it.
man.
Uh,
If it was me doing it, we would have just been like, hey, let's just wait until Chris gets here.
Yeah. But yeah, we appreciate y'all watching. Like, subscribe, download. I don't know. Just do. You know what to do.
Follow us on social media.
Yeah,
Hit the bell.
yeah, that stuff.
Oh, man.
Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.